Hi, and welcome to another Word in Season. I like to read a couple of verses from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. I'm sure they're ones you will know quite well. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. The reason that this verse has been so helpful to me is that I tend to lean on my own understanding of God's work in my life and the world around me. I wonder if you sometimes do that too. There is so much about his perfect plan that I simply do not understand in the moment, but as I trust the Lord for each step of the journey, each decision, God will lay out his path before me. I'd like to read some reflections of a pilot. This is what he tells us. He says, as part of the training for my private pilot's license, I had to do some blind flying, practice maneuvers aloft using only the instruments without looking out the window. The first time I was preparing to take off with my instructor to do some instrument flying, he warned me not to rely on my physical sensations aboard the aircraft. The instruments, the artificial horizon, turn and bank indicator, altimeter, tachometer, airspeed indicator, gyroscopic compass, and radio beam receivers were all reliable. They could be trusted. But, he said, my physical sensations during the time I was flying blind could not be trusted. After we took off from the airport, the instructor had me put on a special hood. For the next half hour or so, my vision would be restricted to the instrument panel by that hood. I immediately began to understand what my instructor had warned me about. The vibrations of the plane, the engine noise, and the unevenness of the outside air all combined to tell me that this little Cessna 150 was doing things that the instruments denied was happening. For that half hour or so, I forced myself to trust these instruments. Even then, at times, my physical instincts would temporarily catch me off guard. It was a reassuring feeling to take that hood off and fly that plane with an eye on the horizon and the ground below. Instrument flying is an art. It takes intense concentration and complete trust in that panel of instruments. Unfortunately, pilots are like most human beings, inclined to trust themselves first of all. There are stories of inexperienced pilots who unexpectedly found themselves in clouds, forced to fly by the instruments. They began to trust their physical sensations more than those instruments, and they came out of the clouds upside down, all the while convinced that they were the right side up until they saw the ground. I wonder, have you ever been guilty of coming out of the clouds upside down? You see, following your own impressions and sensations could lead you to a meeting with a canyon wall rather than the safe landing we've been promised. The instrument panel is there. Let's trust it. Similarly, God has given us his instrument panel, the Bible. Let's trust it. A number of years ago, I was facing a crisis. I was literally, pardon the pun, flying by the seat of my pants. Thankfully, the Lord spoke to me through a song on a CD, a Christian CD I was listening to. The worship leader spontaneously broke into singing the verses we were talking about. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. Now, she must have sung this 7 or 8 times, but it was clear to me that the Spirit was speaking to me, really confirming this is what I needed to do in that particular crisis, and it really carried me through. And like the pilot, there will be times where we will need to trust the instrument panels, the scriptures, the Lord, not our feelings or intuition. May God give us his grace to apply his teachings to us. Church, have a great week.